against the Greater Northern Tigers. Both teams have had epic clashes in seasons past, and today should be no different. If you look at the record here between the Greater Northern Tigers and the North Coast Bulldogs, in last year's campaign, both games went within 6 points or less. Good morning, I'm Dwayne Neville. Pleasure to be with you for my 6th year straight of Andrew Johns and Laurie Daly Cup. As I made mention, a beautiful day here in Coffs Harbour as we're about to get underway here for the first round of the Johns Cup. We'll give you the tail of the tape of the two teams. It's going to be Greater Northern Tigers, going to be running left to right on your screen. For the Bulldogs, it's Schutz, Schoesberg, Schaefer, Corbett, and Kelsey in the back, and in the halves we have a Barraville Tigers pairing of Riley Laverty and Tom Batten. In the engine room we have Adam Druitt, Cooper Logger, Tim Broderick, Jet Hansen, Sam Eggins, and Bo Chegwidden. For the Greater Northern Tigers, Reese Jefferson, Charlie Leonard, Jack Botville, Darcy Wallace, and Jackson Moore complete the back line. In the halves, and it's the same club pairing at Singleton for Riley Fitzsimmons and Hayden Davidson as we get underway for the Andrew Johns Cup in season 2023. With the Bulldogs for the first go of the football, they'll play this one 40 inside, away from their own try line. Some good defending there by Darcy Weatherall. The Greater Northern Tigers winning this contest last year, 24 points to 18. They're yet to beat the Bulldogs in back-to-back seasons. It's been all the Bulldogs in 2019 through to 21. Tigers getting the win in 2018. The Bulldogs, for a team that didn't make the finals last year, have gone on a pretty impressive record coming into this one, undefeated in 3 out of the last 4 matches. So Greater Northern Tigers with the first go of the football, 5 metres away from their own try line. And that's a good start there for the Bulldogs to force the error on the Tigers with good field position to have a go at the try line early. Completing the Greater Northern Tigers 13, we had Nate Rothwell, Darcy Weatherall, Braden Neen, Dustin Risakowski, Ryan Schaefer, and Ray Brazer. As I mentioned, Riley Fitzsimmons and Hayden Davidson play their footy for the Singleton Greyhounds during the winter months. So first attacking play now for the Bulldogs, and good legs tackle there from Haley Davidson, and just as quick as they got the football, the Bulldogs coughed that one back over. Recall watching this game last year, I believe, which was played down in Warhope. There was a try in the first minute, and I believe it came from the Tigers, and it came from a similar position where they are at the moment, deep entrenched inside their own half of field. The Bulldogs playing in their predominantly blue and kit as opposed to previous seasons. They played in the traditional Canterbury Bulldog style from the 80s and 90s. So Tigers taking this one out of their own red zone. They'll be playing this one about just on halfway. Good defending there by Riley Laverty. Laverty, should I mention, plays his footy for Barraville. Nice high kick there from the Tigers, and they're gone chasing for it, and well taken off the kick there from the Bulldogs. That's Bailey Kelsey. Nice run there from Zane Schultz. He'll play this one about 32 metres away from the Bulldogs try line. Very end-to-end thus far from both teams. That's Tim Broderick. Plays his footy for the Lake Caffey Raiders. There's the line break. The Bulldogs were chasing, and an ankle tap there from the Tigers had to be done. The Bulldogs were almost home and hose to get the first points. And that one is deemed play that there, and that referee today is in fact Jacob Nelson, a local Group 2 referee just 40 metres away from the Tigers line. So Bulldogs now, just a bit of a change of direction from, they fancy themselves on the left side, they go to the right. This is now going to be, that's Connor Corbett's. Drag down there, just on the cusp of the Tigers' red zone. Batten, that's up into, that's Broderick. They're 15 metres away from the Tigers' try line. Could the Bulldogs get themselves lucky on this play? Laverty, should I say. That's like, now 2 metres away. Now the Bulldogs fancy a short side. And good blind side defence there from the Tigers. Still the 5th. And they're going to lose about 10 metres and probably more so once the Tigers pick this one up. Bulldogs back with possession. Toby Batten. They'll get another fresh set of 6 there. So not a bad response there for the Bulldogs after potentially losing 20 metres on the fly on the 5th phase. Lauger gets it up into, that's Eggins. This is now going to be the 3rd crack inside the Tigers' red zone. Short side play now for the Bulldogs. They fancy the corner, and for good reason. They've just got themselves the first try of the morning. They probably had one too many chances of the left side. They went to trust the right side, and the first go in that right corner, the Bulldogs, the home team, get the points of 4-0. We expected a fast start here this morning, and with some justification here. Both teams are very high scoring at both Johns and Daly Cup levels. It wasn't the minute and a half that we saw last year, but within the first 5 minutes, the Bulldogs picking up where they left off. I mean, yes, they do have a completely new squad to last year, but they've got tabs on getting into the final series come March this year.
I didn't catch that. It's just cutting out then too.
Of course, the last time the Bulldogs did feature an Andrew Johns Cup level was a classic down in Warhope, a 16-all draw against the Central Coast, which pretty much did the Northern Rivers Titans a favour. Without that draw, they wouldn't have got to the semi-finals, and then as a result win the title in a classic against the MacArthur West Tigers. So this will be now it's going to go over the, just miss the right upright. It's going to be now 4 points to nil. Not much breeze to speak of here in Coffs Harbour. It's 24 degrees at the present. Vastly overcast here this morning. Let's see how the Greater Northern Tigers can respond. They themselves made the finals last year at Johns Cup level. They themselves have won 4 out of their last 6 matches. And both losses were by 6 points or less. And I guess when I just mentioned that the Titans winning in a classic and the draw that the Bulldogs got against the Central Coast in round 5 last year, it spells, and some pundits will say that was the greatest Andrew Johns Cup, or the closest Andrew Johns Cup competition of all time. So this season certainly has big shoes to fill, but when you look at results of last year, 16 out of 28 Andrew Johns Cup matches were decided by 6 points or less, and 9 of those were decided by 4 or less. And I think there was 2 draws throughout the whole season, so expect to see more of that in 2023. So the Bulldogs with their tails up after scoring the first points in the first 5 minutes. Just 5 metres shy of halfway. Now, that could have touched a Tiger's hand in the flight. And in any event, I believe it will be a 20-metre restart.
Wait. Got players in front still. Wait. Okay, 0.
So the Tigers now on the edge of their red zone. Play this one 22 metres away from their own try line. So this will now be Weatherall. Good defence there from, that's Tim Broderick, should I say. Nice dummy play there from the Tigers there from Darcy Weatherall. Representative of Narrabri during the winter months. At the back there, that's Jofferson, Reece Jofferson. This will be played now from Ryan Schaefer. The Tigers now this time try testing their mettle on the short side of the field. Weatherall. There's some big forwards here from the Greater Northern Tigers and some of the biggest forward packs in this competition. They're looking for the line break and the Bulldogs had to play it that one despite the fact they're going to give away another set of 6. Had to be made. The Tigers had a potential overlap on that right side. 6 more coming now for the Tigers, about 20 metres away from from the Bulldogs try line.
Yeah, no worries.
Play to watch for me for the Tigers is the captain, number 11, Dustin Rizikowski. Plays his football for Farah. This is now Jofferson. Gets the offload away, gets it up into that good defence there from Zach Schaefer. Inside the 10 now for the Tigers. Good hard run there from Leonard. 5 metres away now from the Bulldogs line. Options on this right side there for the Tigers. It's not going to be necessary. Now I think that could have been Darcy Weatherall, the dummy half, getting over for the Tigers' first try of the morning to level things up and potentially to go in front of 4 apiece. Good little dummy play there from the Greater Northern Tigers. And Darcy Weatherall from Narrabri. Did have options on that right side and he was probably long odds to try and beat that tough North Coast Bulldogs defence 3-on-1, but slips through and glides in over the chalk. And we now have a level ball game in the first 10 minutes. So this will now be Reece Jefferson to add the extras. He also plays his footy for Farah. And just going to go about a metre shy of the right upright. We're still level here at 4 apiece here at Coffs Harbour. Of course, you're watching this here on New South Wales Rugby League TV. Of course, I'm Dwayne Neville, your caller here this morning for the SLE Andrew Johns Cup. Proudly sponsored by SLE. SLE provides services in underwriting, claims handling, risk management and administration all in one location. Visit the website www.sleworldwide.com.au for more information. And it was predicted to be a very much end-to-end clash thus far, and we're seeing that in spades here in the first 10 minutes or so. And no doubt we'll be in for a treat as well in the Laurie Daly Cup. I believe the score in that match last year was 32-28. So the Bulldogs, opportunity now 10 metres away from the Tigers' try line. Scurrying up this Greater Northern Tigers defence 10 metres away. Lauger gets it up and I believe that's Riley Laverty. 10 metres away, third phase now for the Bulldogs. There's an overlap on this left side here, but that's going to be Shoots. Zane Shoots from Taree. Just metres away from the Tigers line. Now for me, probably just gone off their line a little bit quickly, but the referee, Jacob Nelson's allowing it to play on. 5 metres away now for the Bulldogs on the 4th. Now that's that's Adam Druitt. Just once again lose some metres off the play here, the Bulldogs. Lauger. Once again, they'll go down the right side. Pass was a little bit of a hospital one. Now, there's a one-on-one play here now for the Bulldogs. They fancy this corner again. And for the second time in as many efforts in that right side corner, the Bulldogs get over for points. The Tigers now, they now need to know they're going to have to patch up both ends of this football field because the Bulldogs are exploiting that right side at 8 points to 4 with a kick to come now. Now, I think that could have been one of the centres. I couldn't make out the number who crossed over, but I believe that could have been Connor Corbett, the number 4, but we'll just confirm that with downstairs. And the try scorer, well, the Bulldogs try scorer from earlier was Reef Schoberg, the left side winger. So plays his footy for Sawtell just 5 minutes down the road from where we are here this morning. Beautiful part of the world in Coffs Harbour. It's just coming off a big first summer post-COVID, not affected by travel restrictions and whatnot. And it was only just a couple of weeks ago that they had the KFC Big Bash just a couple of minutes up the road from where we are this morning. And that one's going over. So 10 points to 4, the Bulldogs over the Tigers here in Coffs Harbour. Club Rugby League is back. Get back to playing unreal footy with your real mates with club, tackle and tag options available. There's an option for everyone. Head to playrugbyleague.com to find your local club. So combined, we're near point a minute here. 10 points to 4 in favour of the North Coast Bulldogs. So the Tigers certainly defending well up the middle of the field and certainly putting pressure on that left side. That's going to be Adam Druitt. Played at the back there from Cooper Lauger. Cooper plays his football for Port Macquarie. So a good mix of Group 2 and Group 3 representatives here for the Bulldogs. Whilst for the Greater Northern Tigers, I believe they picked representatives of 3 different groups and a wide range of geography to pick from. It's worth mentioning that both of these teams out here today were the only 2 teams in the Northern Conference, or just about the whole competition, to have beaten the current champions, the Northern Rivers Titans, last year, and both in close affairs as well. Bulldogs getting it done 36 to... Greater Northern Tigers take this one out of their own red zone. Sorry, 18 points to 14 over the Northern Rivers Titans back in Wollongbar for the Bulldogs. And the Greater Northern Tigers, they got it done at Mullumbimby, 16 points to 10. Greater Northern Tigers did feature in the semi-finals, as I mentioned. Although they did go down against the Macarthur West Tigers, beat it by 6 points in a battle of the Tigers. 5 minutes shy of halfway. Good solid defending for the Bulldogs. This will now be Darcy Weatherall to play it. Try scorer from earlier, just a metre inside of halfway. Good chase here for the Tigers. And the bounce is going to favour him as well. And good collect there from the Tigers. Pops it up into Jake Botfield. And just spills it. Charlie Leonard just spilling that one for the Tigers, and the Bulldogs are off the hook. 30-minute halves in the Andrew Johns Cup. Good ruthless defending there from the Tigers. And that was Toby Jamieson. I believe he's just come on for his first cameo of the morning, and penalty given now to the Bulldogs. First penalty in 17 and a half minutes of football.
Yep.
So the Bulldogs will play this one just shy of the 40. So this is now going to be played by, it's Adam Druitt on the first phase now for the North Coast Bulldogs. And that's now going to be, that's Jet, I think that's the number 11 there, Jet Hansen. Plays his footy for Port Macquarie over the 40 now for the Bulldogs. And they've just knocked up one forward. And to be fair, it's to be expected. First serious match of the campaign after having just Christmas just over a month ago. Just ironing out just the creases, and so whilst we'll probably see some high-scoring footy, we'll probably see some handling errors in the first couple of rounds as both sets of teams and players get themselves back into full fitness. 42 metres away from the Tigers try line. Good legs tackle there. I believe that could have been Ryan Schaefer. Plays his footy for Denman. 35 away now for the Bulldogs. This is now going to be Laverty. Riley Laverty from dummy half, the Barraville Tiger. Gets it up into, I think that's Sam Eggins, the number 12. Sorry, apologies there. That was Bo Chegwin, there, the number 13. Very slick play here from the Bulldogs. Cooper Lorga from dummy half. Laverty puts it on the toe. Good read off the kick there from the Tigers. Had to be made. It's going to be called knock on in the process. So the Bulldogs once again, fresh set of 6, 10 metres away from the Tigers try line. Of course, you're watching this on New South Wales Rugby League TV. Plenty of football action back around the New South Wales Rugby League network here this morning. So at the back there, that's Reece Schoberg, the try scorer from earlier. Just a couple of metres away from the Tigers try line. Tigers can ill afford to go down with back-to-back tries in the space of 5 minutes. That's Broderick. Brought back to his 10. Second phase now for the Bulldogs. Laverty. Cut out pass, a long pass. That goes into Bailey Kelts, but he's going to be carried over the sideline. Good try saving play there from the Tigers. Had to be made too. They were staring down the barrel of going down back-to-back tries. And as I may mention a couple of times, the Tigers are defending this left side of the field quite well. It's his other side that's been a little bit of a problem for him, and Tigers once again having to play this one out of the red zone. And now, I'm not sure if that was intended or not, to be fair. It's going to be a call to penalty in any event, but for a minute there, it looked like he was going for a cheeky little grubber off the 10, your own 10, and he absolutely do that at your own peril, but nevertheless, penalty for the Tigers. This one will now be played about 20 metres away from their own try line, the Greater Northern Tigers. And you can just see there the Bulldogs just running up off their line vastly quickly. And Bo Chegwin puts the shoulder in with Cooper Lorga. And spills are just coming too frequent and often for the Greater Northern Tigers. They're giving the Bulldogs another fresh set of 6 in good field position.
This
20-metre scrum feed coming now for the Bulldogs. For the Bulldogs in 2022, 3 out of their 5 games were decided by 6 points or less, and all with mixed results, win, loss and a draw. While for the Tigers, 5 or 6 out of their matches were decided by 6 or less, winning 3 out of 5 of them. So if they can keep it vastly close, the Tigers, they might have something to go off in the second half. And we've seen a lot of that where teams dominate one half and then come back and the other team dominates the second half. So, but with players like this, the Bulldogs putting their ascendancy on, and this time it's going to be called forward. Jacob Nielsen there, the referees, had a better view than anyone and called that one forward on the North Coast Bulldogs, and there'll be a scrum feed now for the Tigers. But just Bulldogs just keep on banging down on this Greater Northern Tigers door. So this is sort of coming to a crossroads now already for both teams. Bulldogs by far had the better opportunities, but with only a 6-point lead, Tigers will be feeling not too bad about themselves. They just need to trust themselves and get the footy up the other end. They might be able to take this game by the scruff of the neck, but they need points. Tigers now with a short side play, still inside their own half of field. They're about 35 metres away from their own try line. And you can just see they're coming quick off their mark there. I believe that could have been Bo Chegwin in the number 13. They just get over halfway, but they've burned off about 4 plays there, the Greater Northern Tigers, and that's number 4, Connor Corbett, down there for the Bulldogs. They just copped a bit of a knock there, trying to make that defensive play. This will be the last. Nice hard kick there from the Tigers, and a good chase. 3-on-1, and you can just see there, I think that could have been Ryan Schaefer, their number 3 there, Jake Botfield. Probably gone a little bit too fast off the kick. The referee's called him for offside. We're just about to approach half-time, 10 points to 4 if you just joined us in favour of the home team. As I mentioned at the start there, the Bulldogs winning three of the last 5 these teams have played, although the Tigers getting up 24 points to 18 last year in this corresponding fixture. It's worth mentioning too, the winning team out of these 2 in the Andrew Johns Cup has required at least 24 points to win, so the Bulldogs sitting on 10. Just under par, you'd think, but absolute bare minimum 24 points was asked for the winner.
I'll let you know when he's off, mate. Yeah.
Now we'll just see what the referees, Jacob Nelson there, of course he's assisted by Blake Smoothy and Jack Fisher. I believe Jack Fisher will be the referee for the upcoming fixture in the Laurie Daly Cup, so
He's already gone. Alright guys, Mark's here. Wait till he's on side, then we can go. Just right here. Wait.
now
Yeah, we are still in front.
so Bulldogs will take the penalty kick 5 metres away from their own try line, and Bulldogs mainly starting their sets inside the Tigers' red zone, so we'll see how they do on the cusp of their own red zone. Solid defending there from Ryan Schaefer, with a little bit of help there from Riley Fitzsimmons. And usually the formula of a championship winning team in this competition from seasons past is you look at, well, not just the scores of players that play with each other at club level, but in the vital positions. And of course you look at the 2019 champions in the Northern Rivers Titans. They had a Coogin Hornet spine from 1-6 and 9. It was more the same this year, but that's where you look at the likes of Rory Laverty and Toby Baton play their footy for Barraville, Riley Fitzsimmons and Hayden Davidson for Singleton. So the work's already half done when you have a spine that play at club level but also representative level, and be sure to look for that in the coming weeks as we approach the final series in the midst of March. About 3.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Tigers with the footy 35 metres away from their own try line. Fitzsimmons. Referee's called that one played on, and this will be played now. About 42 metres away from the Tigers' try line. Good passing here for the Tigers. And they managed to get that one just 25 metres away, but not much real estate on that left side. Tigers now bringing it infield. That's going to be Rave Brazier.
Easy change over here, guys, okay? Easy change over.
Another changeover now coming for the Greater Northern Tigers.
Hold! Let's go. Go now.
15 metres away from their own try line. So this is now going to be Marty Fisher now coming on for his first goal of the morning. Good read on the fence there from that Jake Botville, the Denman Devil. Bulldogs not panicking, they're just keeping it to the centre of field, and it's Darcy Weatherall puts a solid hit in and trying to force a mistake on the North Coast Bulldogs to try and that's what the Tigers have to do. They have to try and find an opportunity deep inside the opposition half of field, because they've been starting pretty much all their players in their own half of field. And by the time they get up the other end, they've already burnt 3/4 of their set. Nice little kick there from the Bulldogs. And that is a 40-20 for the Bulldogs. It's just the Bulldogs at the moment are just getting all the opportunities, and let's be fair, off some good play off that 40-20, give themselves another chance outside the Tigers' red zone with a full set of 6 in tow, but they need to make it the most of it and get points, because I believe with the opportunities that Bulldogs had, I don't believe 10's going to be enough. Chegwidden. That's Levity up into that Jet Hansen. 12 metres away. Riley Levity. Chegwidden brought down there about 8 metres away. Lorga on the third phase. Nice flick pass up into that Marty Fisher. That would have to be second, if not his third touch of the morning. They go that short side. They've tried down there all morning. Shoots eventually gets it away up into his winger partner in Bailey Kelsey. It's the last. Good defending here for the Tigers. Got to defend one more. Can they get a repeat set out of this, the Bulldogs? They won't by a matter of inches. Now, Zane shoots there. Done well to force the error, and the Bulldogs are just not getting any luck at the moment. But I said, probably not feeling too hard done by just being down by 6, with pretty much having to defend their own goal line for the majority of this first half. Although the clock might not be the Bulldogs' friend on this occasion, as 30 minutes has struck up. We'll probably have about a minute stoppage time for that stoppage we had about a couple of minutes ago. That clock does run live. It doesn't stop, so probably get this set of 6 in here, the Bulldogs. And now there's a gap on the right side, and that was intended there for Zane Shoots, and that is halftime. North Coast Bulldogs really flex their muscle with